The two reasons why people want to flee the Western governments, one is obviously the high taxes, up to 50% in taxes. The second problem is the heavy-handed governments, right? They control every aspect of your life. They want to add more surveillance techniques. They want to check your documentation. They want to keep auditing you right, left, and center. They want to keep you busy so you spend more money. So that's the objective. That's why a lot of people from the West are trying to flee, are trying to change their jurisdiction. They want to pay those high taxes to be harassed. They want to pay zero taxes to be left alone. So that's the point. That's why people from the West are seeking a country that can leave them alone and tax them zero. The second set of people that are now particularly interested in fleeing their own home country are people from Asian countries, people from countries like Hong Kong, from South Korea. I'm getting a lot of interest from South Korea. And then, of course, you have other Asian countries like China and Japan, and they don't allow dual citizenship. Their governments are tightly controlled, right? They control their citizens, they control their population. Good for them. I'm not criticizing any of these Asian countries, but the people who believe in freedom, the people who believe in not associating closely with the government, they want to be left alone, are now joining that tally. And I'm getting a lot of interest from Asia and Asian people. And that's where I think the biggest opportunity is to find a country that is safe, that has a good expat community, that has good tax advantages, that has a direct permanent residency, so you have the stability, and that also has the fastest path to citizenship. It also has a paper residency in case you don't want to do the citizenship but want to keep the permanent residency. It has a paper permanent residency, a lifelong option, and this is the best country in the world. This is our top offering in 2026. It was the top offering in 2025. Since the time our team has got on this option, it has skyrocketed, and most of our clients are asking now for this permanent residency. And I'm talking about the country of Uruguay. I'm going to talk a little bit more about this. But before we get started on Uruguay, if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, please take a look at your subscription. Either you're a new viewer or an existing viewer, please check that subscription. It truly matters. It helps us grow and helps me get you valuable content on time. Now, Uruguay is nicknamed the Switzerland of Latin America because it has everything that Switzerland would offer you otherwise, minus the taxes, minus the bureaucracy, minus the heavy-handed government control. So in Uruguay, the government does not control every aspect of your life. Bureaucracy is at a minimum. You're not dealing with the crazy bureaucracy that you would otherwise deal in, let's say, Mexico or Argentina or Brazil. Uruguay leaves you alone. We have the team on the ground that takes care of all the stuff that needs to be taken care of.
Part of our job is before the client comes, is to check all the documents in advance. If the documents are correct, there is no reason why the residency will be rejected. So yes, 99.9% of the time, 100% of the time, it works.
Your permanent residency is directly done. All the work is, majority of the work is all done in 3 days in Montevideo. You can then, once you get the permanent residency in hand, you can open up your bank account, start your life in Uruguay. Now, when you compare this with other Latin alternatives, most other Latin countries, for example, Panama, they charge a premium. And I did a detailed video comparing the two. A lot of people go for Panama, right? So they pay a lot, which they don't realize. So have head-on comparison between Panama and Uruguay. If you have missed that all-important video, you can return and take a look at this one. I've talked about it in a lot of detail. But the point I'm trying to make is that in other residencies, you're doing a lot of donation, you're paying golden visa fees, you're shelling out a lot of money in just getting that residency. In Uruguay, it's virtually a free option.
Legal residency, to have a Uruguayan cédula and be able to work in Uruguay and open bank accounts in Uruguay and like to have be a resident of Uruguay. If you fulfill the $1,200 at least, plus criminal record, birth certificate, you will get it.
Because you're only paying for your accommodation, your flight cost, and the attorney fees, but you're not donating or you're not paying any heavy golden visa fees to the government. Whatever application fees you pay is peanuts, right? It hardly is anything. It's negligible. So this option, in my opinion, is super undervalued for the kind of country Uruguay is. I think this option should be valued at 500K. So if Panama is asking for 300K in property, this should be 500K in property. Right now, it's almost free, next to free. And what is the qualifying criteria? It's literally nothing. You're talking about a $1,200 a month in active salary income. You show that, you just simply present a couple of pay stubs or a letter which confirms that you have this much earnings per month. Literally 99% of you guys watching right now qualify for this one already. It's just a matter of time. So rather than sitting and thinking and waiting, I think this is the right time to start and trigger Uruguay. And once you get this permanent residency, you are on your 3-year path to citizenship. If you're doing this with your family,
you can apply for citizenship, and the process takes around 6 months to 1 year to get the passport.
Including your spouse, then you can naturalize in 3 years. If you're not including your spouse, or until you want to include your spouse, you're on the 5-year track. The moment you add the spouse, you're on the 3-year track to the Uruguayan citizenship. It's a very powerful passport with all the bells and whistles. It's a Mercosur citizenship, so you have access to all of Latin America, so you can freely move, not just move or visit. You can settle in the Mercosur bloc, so you have Argentina, Chile, Peru, Paraguay, Uruguay. You have the entire region to your disposal. That's the first benefit. The second benefit of the Uruguayan nationality or citizenship is that you have the Schengen access. The real passport is a respectable solution. When you travel with the Uruguayan passport, you're traveling with prestige, and you have the Schengen access. Of course, you can get residencies or add a paper residency from the EU, so you can strengthen your passport that way. And then it's one of the easiest nationalities to get visas on from any other country. So let's say you are trying to go to the US or Canada, using a Uruguay passport adds another level of respect to your portfolio. So you absolutely can't go wrong with the PR. You absolutely can't go wrong with the citizenship. A lot of people question is like, hey, how I don't want to do the 6 months each year for 3 years and then get the citizenship. Well, I think you want to live in Switzerland, so live in the Switzerland of Latin America. It's not going to bite you in your back. You're going to have a beautiful experience. It's a 10-year tax holiday. The video that I talked about talks about the 10-year tax holiday and how you could structure your investments to benefit from that. But giving them the 6 months, 6 months, and 6 months, which is 18 months over the 3-year period, you earn a beautiful, amazing nationality and you secure your entire life. I think you can call this as a plan A, but if you want to keep this as a plan B, this is the best plan B anyone can ever imagine. So I think it's a very valuable option. At any point in time you want to get started with this option, we have teams in Uruguay that do this for you. You can always click the link, book a call. We can have a quick chat and get you started with the Uruguay permanent residency or any other residency that I keep talking on our channel. And if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, make sure you're subbed, and catch you in the next one.